touch on the old programming as well, because Eric and I are coming from two different worlds. Those of you who follow us for a little while may know that I'm originally from Ukraine. And while I was born and raised in Ukraine, it was still the communist country, was still part of the Soviet Union, which collapsed in 1991. So pretty much my entire childhood up to teenager, I was growing up with the communist mentality, which is really scary, by the way. And it creates a certain programming. It creates certain way of even communicating with people. I remember when I moved for the first time to Minnesota, where we lived at that time, and Eric and I are walking around the lake, and he's smiling and saying hi to everybody. I was like, oh, do you know them? Are they our neighbors? He's like, no, they just walking around here with the dog. And I was like, why did you say hi? So even to that extent, right? So for me,
it was a Minnesota thing.
It was mind-boggling. It's like, why would you say hi to a stranger? So it tells you a lot about my programming, how I would communicate with people. Even sometime in first couple of years, even your family members thought that something is wrong with me, because I was not like jumping up and down and hugging everybody and immediately jumping in the conversation, because it's not me. It's not how I grew up. It's not how I was raised. So, and for a long time, they thought that I'm some kind of a snob or something. I don't know. But it took time, first of all, for me to feel safe, to open up in that new environment, so I can be myself, and I can trust these people, and I can actually show who I am. And it took time for them to kind of like understand and see that I'm actually normal human being, I hope so. So just to kind of like, it grew both ways, you know, they grew on me, I grew on them. So it just took time for us to get to know each other. And I'm sure, and you might not be from two different countries, two different worlds, but there's still gonna be different environment you were raised inside of your family. And for example, if you were raised in a church environment, and if you were not in church environment, those two environments gonna make an impact on how you think, how you talk, how you act, all of that. And the biggest thing I think here is the perception, because we put the words to somebody's silence. We put the words to somebody's actions. And again, also, because Eric had his previous relationship and I was in the previous relationship before, so we brought that baggage from those older relationships into this relationship. And that was a big problem because it took us some time to realize, hey, there is a reason why we're out of those relationships. So let's not repeat those old mistakes. Let's come into this relationship with a different mindset, be more open, be trusting each other. And again, trust did not happen overnight. We were working on it. And I remember it took us probably about 3 years to kind of like finally feel safe and open up and being able to have a conversation, because when he would be upset with something that I don't even know that I did or offended him in some way, he would just shut down and not talk to me. And I had the feelings like, hey, honey, what's happening? What's wrong? Talk to me. And he would have to open up and tell me what is bothering him. And he did exactly the same way with me. And actually, he did it much more with me than I was doing with him, because I was kind of like constantly keeping it to myself. And he would come to me and very lovingly saying like, hey, babe, I know there is something wrong. Talk to me. And we kind of like, we constantly pushed each other in a loving and comforting way to be open, to be honest. And today we have zero secrets, and it might sound weird for some of you, but we have zero. We know everything about each other, absolutely 100%. And that helped me to build that trust to him. And Eric knows that he can trust me with anything in his life, and I got his back no matter what. So that is such a powerful way of living your life and building your business, because once you know that your spouse, your partner got your back, everything else is easy. We always joke that we are a two-headed monster against the world, and that's how we feel, that we know that we got each other. We got each other's back no matter what happens, and that makes life so much easier. With any problem that you will be faced with, you know that you have a support that you need at home. And once you have that, you can take care of the rest. So just remember that people are coming from different backgrounds. It's gonna take time. That's why it's relationship.
Patient,
It's not, it's just not gonna happen overnight. It's work. Relationship is work. You need to constantly improve. You need to constantly work on it to create that safe environment for your spouse to be able to open up. And especially, I think it's a big deal for the guys, because guys used to being, so tough and so big, and, like Eric said, being protective of their spouses. But sometimes they also have weak moments, and sometimes they need that strong, powerful woman next to them to help them and tell them one more time, hey, babe, this is why we're doing this. This is why we're moving forward. This is why it's important to us, because together we can accomplish anything. So just be aware of those things, and do everything in your power to build that level of trust and respect and openness to each other.